Hello everyone. I decided to make this video because something has been bothering me for a month, and I just want to tell my opinion about this topic. And this topic is monopolistic behavior slash greediness of CEOs of big corporations. Now that might sound strange, but I have to say I'm kind of baffled and I have mixed feelings about that because if you have seen in the past several months, there have been some prime examples of several CEOs becoming very vocal against some other companies. The greatest example of all of this, which triggered my wish and my will to record this video, was Tim Sweeney from Epic. He his tweet feed, first of all, has become a constant non-stop tweet storm about how Apple is bad and how Apple is using its dominant position to suppress everything. Now, where is it coming from? And I think it's important to remind it. I link the articles which I'll talk about, and some links below, so you can read by yourself. Um, A team has been saying that Apple is so bad that it doesn't allow third-party developers, that it doesn't allow to upload third-party apps on the store, and most importantly, Apple doesn't allow to surpass their payment system inside the App Store, so you cannot you cannot create a second store inside Apple Store and bypass 30% fees from Apple. And Tim was saying all of this, and he's been saying this for a long time. He was bringing it up as something where he fights for the good of people. That it stops innovation. It doesn't allow other companies to thrive, and it doesn't allow other companies to create better products because Apple is so evil that they are not allowing them to do it. The reality, though, is that Team wanted to have great deal for Fortnite because Fortnite is the money machine, the money pit for Epic, and they're making so much money, and they wanted to make more money. They didn't want to pay 30% fees to Apple. So what they did, and knowingly, they surpassed they updated the Fortnite, and they started to take payments directly going around Apple, and of course Apple banned them, and then the lawsuit began, and Team was saying, I'm fighting for the good of other companies, I'm fighting for the good of the customers. 30% is too much. Apple needs to back down and and do what is good for the industry. But during that lawsuit, which by the way Epic lost, it was uncovered that before Tim did all of that, he came to Apple executives and he asked them for a special deal. He said, I want to have a special deal. Give me lower fees. And they said, no, rightfully so. And then, of course, that whole saga and lawsuit happened. But what is more importantly, that during the questioning, during that lawsuit, when Tim was under the oath, they asked him, Dear Tim, if Apple would have given you this deal, would you have taken it? And he said yes. And they asked him, but Tim, what phone do you use? And he said, iPhone. And they asked him, why do you use iPhone? And he said, because of its great operating system and it being more secure than other phones because of the tight, locked ecosystem. Interesting. So on one side, he's telling you one thing. On another side, he's doing completely other thing. Now another example today emerged where Carpay, the founder and CEO of Nothing Phones and before in OnePlus, came out and said, Apple dominance, because Apple had a market share and has a huge market share among young people, like, I don't know, 90% or 80% phones or 80% young people in US own iPhone. Because of that, because of the dominant position of Apple, that prevented us as a company to enter US market. And I'm like, Carl, this is not what prevented you to enter US market. The lack of interest in your phone prevented you from entering US market. And you tried hard. And I mean, I like your phones. I like Android phones. I like the style of your phone. I liked OnePlus. I owned OnePlus One, first one. I love it. But let's be realistic. The DOJ is now suing Apple for an antitrust behavior. And while it's their right, what I'm afraid here is that we suddenly forget about market rules and we go overly regulating it and the lobbying for regulation from smaller companies, the wannabes of Apple's, the wannabes of Samsung, they're lobbying the government to go against Apple because it's an easy target. You can always say, of course, hey, look, it's a huge ecosystem. I mean, Apple Watch is the most sold watch on the planet. It has to be monopolistic, right? What if we are actually overdoing this? What if it's wrong? Why are we punishing a company which actually worked hard for decades to be where they are today? Why we're doing this? I don't think this is the right way to go. I think companies should be punished if they do unlawful and very anti-competitive things, and dominating and using their position to dominate the market and doing something illegal in a direct way. I mean, where they might be, you know, do something really really bad in a way that it's literally illegal. When a company is dominant because it's doing great product and everybody is buying it and they want to control their ecosystem, they want to build their store, I don't see a big reason of going after that, because what the signal we're sending to the companies, because all those people like CarPay, like Tim Sweeney, I'm sorry guys, like Spotify for example, I'm sorry guys, you are wannabes Apple. Your main goal from your testimonies, from your messages, from what we see, is profit. You want to make more money. You want to become as dominant as Apple. And you are now basically barking at Apple saying, hey, let's slow down innovation. Let's punish them for being that successful. What message are you sending to your customers? Because if you get to their position, you will be looked the same way. And of course you say, yeah, sure, I want to get to their position. I don't care that someone will find me. But we as customers, we should not support this kind of behavior. I'm not saying Apple should be dominant because it's dominant. I'm not saying Apple should do some wrongdoings and stay dominant on the market. Even if they would have a worse product, they will push it to your throat because they will not give you any choice or something. But honestly speaking, in many categories, Apple products are superior. And honestly, even now in my category in XR, they've done one of the best, if not the best product for XR, period. So why would I shout at them and say, oh my god, punish them, they're closing the ecosystem and that's wrong? No. Be better. Man up. Like freaking go and do something better. Do great products. And find ways to find your way to your customers. That's the market. That's how capitalism works. That's how the free market works. And if we start punishing those companies just because they're successful, I think that's a road to hell, economic hell. And we should not do things like that. We should think really hard, and especially it's so hypocritical when it's coming from companies and from people who are clearly here to make more money. That, in my opinion, is wrong. So you guys from Spotify, you guys from Epic, you guys from Nothing Phone, and you guys from other companies who are suing and who are cheering it up and say, yes, let's make iPhone put things in it which Apple doesn't want to put in, or things like that. Think twice, because that boomerang will come back to you and will hit you hard one day. Maybe not today, maybe not in a year, maybe even not in 5 years, but one day this boomerang will come back and you will feel the results of it. Whether the result will be overregulation and overreaching government hand, which we all know it's not good, or the result will be that users will just hate you because they clearly see what you're doing. But stop it. That's just my opinion. And those companies pretending to be angels while using monopolistic behaviors, like Spotify, for example, where struggling musicians cannot make money, and the deals and everything, and the labels are getting most of the profits, and Spotify is using their dominance. Like, Spotify sues Apple, saying that Apple's 30% tax on their platform didn't allow Spotify to be more competitive against Apple Music, while Spotify doesn't even charge people for their subscription inside the app, but they do it on their website. And they sold millions of subscriptions because they were on Apple Store. How is this? Why we're even allowing this hypocritical behavior? So wake up. Sometimes people read the news and they say, it's too complicated for me to understand and to have an opinion. Like, you look at the news and then the government is suing, or Epic is suing Apple, and you say, it's too complicated for me to even dive into it. I would trust that, yes, Apple is a bad guy automatically, and Epic is a good guy. But it's not that difficult. Just use your common sense and think about it. And when you think about it, the truth is right there in front of your eyes. So think critically. Whether you agree with me or not, it's okay. Let's discuss. But I want this to be here because I think that's an important topic, and I don't like the trend where it's going. Because if we start punishing companies for doing great products, the innovation will absolutely stop, and companies will be afraid to do bold moves, which we as consumers want them to do. So with that, see you in the next video. Bye!